Chad, I wanted to ask about when the linemen were injured in the game, you went almost exclusively to shotgun with Josh, but for running plays you went under center. How do you kind of try to work that so you're not tipping off the other team? And I guess where do you go from there? Is Josh kind of play a little bit more, shotgun?
Yeah, I think whenever you have things in the game that you have to adjust, there's a balance that needs to happen, whether it's a player being injured or maybe a scheme being altered based off of what the defense is doing. And I think one of the challenges that we always have on game day is to make sure that we're balancing that during the game. And certainly the protection aspect is one part of it. The choice to be under center and in the gun is another aspect of it, whether that has a stronger tendency to be run or pass, obviously is an issue. So I think that the word balance comes up a lot for us, and it's something that we strive to really do both in-game adjustment-wise and then in our preparation.
I know stats aren't everything, but the stats don't look great for this offense.
Right.
What is your assessment of where you guys stand at?
Yeah, I think what's really important for us is to keep improving. And although the stats, aren't exactly where we want them to be, we are just going to continue in the process of improving, and that's what we're asking our players. That's certainly how we're approaching it from a coaching staff, is just to focus on improving every day, of getting better at not only the schematics but the fundamentals and our overall preparation improving. I think all those things are continuing to improve, and we're making progress, and it's certainly, I think that's what our focus is on, just improving.
Was there one part that had you particularly kind of perplexed that it hasn't been better, or one part that's been better than expected?
No, I mean, I think that it's, when you look at it, it's everything. We just need to improve really in all areas. There's not one area that I think that we necessarily need more improvement or less in. It's really just all areas, even some of the areas that might be some positives for us right now. There's still plenty to improve within those areas. So I mean, we have a long way to go. I think our players have done a good job of trying to embrace the challenges that we've had along the way, and I've been impressed with the way they've worked and handled some adversity here early in the year.
Chad, I think you were either one or at most two injuries away from having to have a non-offensive lineman
Yeah.
playing offensive line. So who's your emergency tackle, your emergency guard? Who would slide into those games?
Yeah, I mean, we, because of the NFL, the way it's set up on game day, you have usually 7 offensive linemen. So when you do incur injuries at that position, there's some special considerations that you have to bring another position in, and that's something that we've looked to. Obviously, we didn't have to do that. We're gonna, in our preparation this week, we're gonna talk about that. So that's something we're gonna talk about today is, if that does come up, and we talk about a lot of situations that might come up during the game, just not the offensive line situation. So we'll talk about it as a staff, but we certainly have to have a plan in place for that, because we were close to having to play with a position or a player that was going to be playing out of position.
Who would have been?
I don't want to necessarily comment on that specifically, but there was definitely a plan in place for that, and certainly the choices we have are offensive players as well as defensive players.
Chad, with Josh playing shotgun again, could you guys see yourself, practicing a little bit more pistol stuff and maybe some RPOs, maybe just to get him back there and give yourself some more time and more protections?
Yeah, there were some things that he did well in the shotgun, and certainly there's been some things that he's done well under center here that he's comfortable with. So I think that with Josh, it's finding the things that he's very comfortable with and confident in, and that's a work in progress for us as a coaching staff to identify those things and really to play to his strengths. Certainly, I think one of his strengths is to be in the shotgun, but I've also been impressed with some of his under center snaps and his ability to still, be balanced, and our ability to throw the football when he's underneath has been a strength of his also.
Could you take us through your thinking? I think the goal to go situation.
Yeah.
Was it, I believe, 3 straight runs?
It was, yeah. So we ran the ball 3 straight times. I mean, again, like I've spoken in the past, we're always going to try to do what's best, and certainly the calls that are made are pre-planned and something that we work really hard on. In that situation, the outcome wasn't exactly what we wanted. Obviously, we didn't score, and disappointed in that, but not disappointed in our plan, our preparation, and our choice to to run the ball in the red zone. That's something that we're going to have to we will pride ourselves on. We'll have to improve. Is just the ability to stay balanced inside the red zone and just not be throw. Certainly we were run there, but it's something that we do put a lot of time in, and when we feel like we have maybe an advantage in that area, we're going to do it. Sometimes the execution and then the outcome might not be as planned, but certainly there's a lot of preparation that goes into that choice.
During that drive specifically, though, Josh found O'Leary for the first down after he scrambled out. I think he found Preston.
Yeah.
Too. Why would you want to take it out of his hands if he was making those?
Yeah, I think that each area of the field is very different. We talked to the team a lot about situational football and how each area of the field is different, and certainly inside the red zone there were some things that we looked at and maybe saw a little bit different than the other areas in our game planning. So whether it's third down situation, red zone, those were early down calls for us in which we had success with him throwing the ball, and that was our plan there. To use the flea flicker and to use some of those other things. And then, things might change for us as far as our mindset or our game planning when we get into that next situation. So I think it's just based off of the opponent. It's based off of week to week. It's based off of where we were personnel at the time. So I think there's a lot that goes into that. And there's some things that we have to adjust during the game based off of some things that maybe it's an injury we incurred or maybe they've played something differently than we expected.
Have you given thought to maybe getting Laird some more work from scrimmage?
Yeah, I mean, I think that certainly Laird has really done a good job for us, in the preseason and during practice. I know his role right now is special teams, and it's a great problem to have at the running back spot because we have really good players, and it's tough to get them all in there right now. So he knows his focus right now is on special teams for us, but certainly he prepares and is ready to have a role on offense at any time if needed, or we think he's going to be part of our game plan. So I have a lot of confidence in him, and if he does get an opportunity, I'm sure he'll do very well.
Well, I guess with Balaj, we haven't seen the production.
Right.
Why do you remain confident that production's going to come?
Yeah, I think that, again, I said this last week, and I believe this, is that, there's a lot that goes into being successful as a running back, and one of the things is they rely heavily on the people around them. And, I was very impressed with Kalen at the end of the game when he caught a swing screen for us and ran like it was the second play of the game and just showed great effort and showed the type of runner he is. And that's what I think Kalen is. And I think if we give him the opportunity to do that, I think that Kalen's going to perform very well. I just think that there's a lot of things that go into him performing well, and one is the 10 other guys that are out there with him. It takes all 11 to have a successful run game or, a pass that might be thrown to him. It takes the other guys to really do their job for him to be successful. But I have confidence in Kalen, a lot of confidence in Kalen. I have a lot of confidence in our running backs, and we're working really hard to put them in the best position they can to be successful. Guys, thanks for being here.
General question
Yep.
on Rosen, how do you think he played?
Yeah, I thought that from an operation standpoint, there were some things that were really positive. I think that was going into his first game in AT&T Stadium wasn't an easy place to start his first game, with some of the elements that we had, whether it be crowd noise or just playing on the road for the first time. And I thought that he really, from a communication standpoint, from an overall operation of in and out of the huddle, I thought he did a nice job there. I really did. And I thought the one thing he also did is we were able to protect the football in the pass game. We asked him that was going to be really important, and I thought he did that. I thought he tried to play on time in the pass game. So there were some real positives coming out of this, and the one that really sticks out is just his overall running the offense from an operation standpoint at the line of scrimmage. The things that we're asking him to do, I thought he did well, and I think there were some positives moving forward on that.
Just a natural question. Do you think Josh would have probably been a little bit more further along if he started the first two games?
I don't, I think that Josh's, improvement since he's been here has been good, and certainly we were excited to get him in here in this third game. I just think that that's for him. What's most important is he just continues to improve and make progress moving forward. I know that he's very he was excited about his opportunities, even more excited about another opportunity on Sunday.